Hello and welcome to Friday's second edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I did the crossword video earlier on, so anybody interested in cryptic crosswords might like to check out the video that came out earlier this afternoon, in which I solved today's Times crossword, which was a lovely puzzle. But that's not what this video is about. This video, I'm going to attempt a puzzle called Kurodoku or Kurodoku by Malrog and yttrio, whose birthdays it is today. I believe it's both their birthdays. They are different people, I am assured, and they share a birthday. So I'm going to attempt this puzzle, which I believe was actually created back in July 2024, and somehow we didn't cover, even though I found it on Logic Masters Germany, and it has basically a 100% approval rating and is loved by everybody who's ever attempted it. So it must have slipped through the cracks back in the day, and I apologise for that. I gather, though, that it is a difficult puzzle. Now, so sometimes we do have a whole file full of recommendations we've received over time for puzzles that have passed the testers or that we know will be good videos, but we also know they might be 2-hour videos, and we don't want to do 2-hour videos every day for fear of annoying you all. But once in a while we can attempt very difficult puzzles, and I hope that it doesn't annoy anybody too much. So we'll see how we get on. It is only 4 stars out of 5 for difficulty, so it might be less difficult than I fear, but we shall see. I also need to say happy birthday, by the way, today to yet another constructor. It's Tallcat's birthday as well. Now, there wasn't a collaboration between Malrog, yttrio and Tallcat, so Tallcat, I'm afraid you get the short straw, well, if indeed that turns out to be the case, but anyway, I wish you, of course, the very happiest of birthdays, and the next time you're moderating one of our streams, I hope you're going to be on my side for once. Anyway, what else can I tell you about? Let me look at my list. I've got one of the comments amused me on this puzzle on Logic Masters. It said, "This puzzle is absolutely insane in the best possible way." So I don't know what that means yet, but we shall see. Oh, yes. Now, speaking of very difficult puzzles, we are getting a lot of requests. Apparently, IcyFruit, who is a constructor I admire tremendously, but I'm also terrified of, because every video I do in which I tackle IcyFruit's puzzles, it takes like multiple hours. There was one that took nearly 4 hours for me to solve. There is a puzzle by IcyFruit. I will try and have a go at it. The reason, well, it's the same point really about this puzzle, or puzzles that we get recommended that are very, very difficult. In order for me to have a continuous shot at the puzzle, I have to find enormous windows of time in my actual life. And sometimes those windows are difficult to construct. But I will have a go. I will have a go at it. I mean, there's also, by the way, an enormous chance I won't be able to solve it, but I will try at some point to solve the IcyFruit puzzle that apparently I've missed. Now, what else? Let me look at my list. I've done Tallcat's birthday. Over on Patreon, Mark's solve of the final puzzle from this year's American Crossword Puzzle Tournament is live. So check that out. I think you'll enjoy it. That is new. Oh, now what we haven't done, which is remiss of us, is to pick the winner for this month's Patreon reward competition. The videos are now out, so if you did get stuck, check out the videos over on Patreon now. But we need to find the winner of the cushion cover, don't we? I will try and remember to draw the winner for tomorrow, and we'll announce that tomorrow. And there's one more birthday to do, actually. Tim, you've turned 36 today. And I know this because your wife Thea wrote to us. I hope I'm saying that right. It could be Thea, but I think Thea is how it looks to me. But you're in Östersund in Sweden, a name I'm also probably butchering. I apologise so much, but Tim, I gather you've been watching us for years. Thank you so much for doing that. I hope you have a terrific birthday today with a large slice of incredibly heavily iced chocolate cake. And the thought of that is making me quite jealous. anyway, with that said and done, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I meant to mention. There probably is. Oh, yes, there is. There is. On Sunday morning, 10 a.m. UK time, we are releasing the video that Mark and I made with Matt Parker from standupmaths, which is just a great treat. It was a treat for us. So the way it works is Matt found this puzzle that he believed was impossible for humans to solve, set us the challenge of solving it in front of him. And that's what the video is. So anyway, that's coming out 10 a.m. UK time on Sunday. And I hope that you will enjoy it, or at least get some satisfaction from watching Mark and I faced with an incredibly difficult puzzle together. Anyway, with that said and done, let's have a look at Kurodoku by Malrog and yttrio. Now this must be a reference to some Japanese logic problem. There is a Japanese logic problem beginning with Kuro. Kuroto. But I read the rules of this one before I turned on the webcam, and it rang no bells with me at all. So I must be... I mean, I haven't done Kuroto for ages, but maybe this is something to do with Kuroto and Sudoku. These are the rules anyway. Chaos construction. Place the digits 1 to 9 exactly once in every row, column and region. Regions consist of a set of 9 orthogonally connected cells and must be determined by the solver. So, what does that mean? That is not a region in this puzzle, because this little naughty green cell is not orthogonally connected to its friends. It touches its friends, but only at a point, at this diagonal point, at this vertex. That's not good enough for an orthogonal connection. To fix it, we could do that. That would be good enough, and that's possible. So we're going to have to figure out where those orthogonally connected or regions of orthogonally connected cells live. Now, this next paragraph is complicated. Shade 2 groups of orthogonally connected cells in each region. These groups can consist of a single cell or multiple cells. Both of a region's groups must have the same size and shape, but may be rotated or reflected, and shaded groups may not be orthogonally adjacent. Now, I am not exactly sure I know what this means, but I think it might mean this. If that was a region in the puzzle, then within this region, we have to identify 2 different groups of cells, which might just be a single cell, or might be a group of cells. But if it's a group of cells, so say we said it's that, say that is one of the shaded groups within this region, then there must be the equivalent of this somewhere else in the region, but not touching this. So, and it has to be the same shape. So it could be that, for example. I mean, that is a rotation of that shape. So I think it means that. That's an example. Now, if it was a two cell shape, if it's a 4 cell shape, it would have to be that, wouldn't it? Because they can't touch each other. But if it's a 2 cell shape, it will always be a domino. Yeah, so can we... Yeah, they don't... Okay, right. So it doesn't have to be rotationally... You know, if you put it there, it doesn't have to be there, for example, and look symmetrical. I think it could be there. I think. That's how I read that rule, anyway. Anyway, let's leave this example up in case we could use it with the next bit of the rules. So, cells with arrows are not shaded. Okay, well, I've messed that up. And indicate the size of a group of shaded cells which occupies the adjacent cell in the indicated directions or directions. Note, a 2 in a cell with 2 arrows. Let's find a cell with 2 arrows, that one. Okay, so a 2 there would indicate that there was a region of size 2 in both directions. Oh, I see. So that 2 is not saying, it's not saying that in those 2 directions they must sum to 2. It's saying there's a region of size 2 there and a region of size 2 there. Okay, I understand that. Now, one more paragraph. For each region whose shaded groups consist of multiple cells, well, this one does, one shaded group must contain a set of consecutive digits in any order, and adjacent digits within the other shaded group must differ by at least 5, and the solver must determine which is which. I mean, this is bonkers. I mean, what was it someone said? Absolutely, it is absolutely insane. So that means if this was the situation, then one of these operates a bit like a German whispers line, in the sense that adjacent digits would have to differ by at least 5. And the other one operates a bit like a Renban line in the sense that it's got to be a consecutive series. So it's going to be very constrained if there are any shapes that have... If you had a shape, let me just... I mean, this might count as solving, so I might not be meant to do this. I just want to think about that for a second. If you did have a shape that had 2, or a region that had 2 4-cell groups, one of these groups is a whisper and one of them is a Renban. That's definitely constrained. Okay, all right. I will stop thinking about that until we get to that situation, if indeed we do. Now, the way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Do have a go. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. I get a given digit, which no doubt I won't be able to see. This is the only time I will see this given digit. I'm looking at you, 8. I'm looking at you firmly, and I'm trying to imprint you in my brain. Row 3, column 4 is 8. Right. Now, okay, we were told something. Was it that the arrow cells are all unshaded or something? Cells with arrows are not shaded, right? Can I double... No, I can't double click them. Oh, bobbins. Right. And early bobbins. So all of those are my patented unshaded colour of lime green. Now, each of these points at shaded cells. Right, so we can shade everything connected or pointed at by an arrow, I think. All of those can be purple. Now, what does that mean? I don't have a clue. I don't even know really what I'm doing yet. I've got to get this rule set a bit more fixed in my head. Shade 2 groups. So each of these... No, we don't know, do we? So is it possible, for example... Yeah, it doesn't say that, you know, that if this one is pointing at that this one is not pointing at that, because if that's purple, these 2 arrows are pointing at the same thing. Right, so that one can't go there. That seems clear. If that went there, both of these would be pointing at the same shaded thingy. And whatever size this shaded thingy was would be the digit in both of those cells, which would break Sudoku. So that square is lime green. And that square is 1. And this square is not 1. So that one has to grow. Here we go. All right, at least we've started. This one is not 1. Oh. Well, you can't. It is right. We have to have two. Yeah, we have to have two shaded groups in every. So in every. Hang on. Let me just double check something. Shade two groups in each region. Yeah. So every single region of 9 cells has two groups within it that are the same size, and they have to be reflections or rotations of each other. So I know what I should have done. Right. But one thing I'm seeing as a result of that is that that cell cannot be purple, because that would make a group of 5 thingies, and it can't have 5 thingies, because then after rotation there would be another 5 thingy shape, and that would all have to fit in to a 9 cell region. Well, 5 times 5 is more than 9, so that is green, and this has to grow because this has got to be not 1. So, right, okay, this is a 2-4 pair we're going to claim now, because one of these can be 2, that's fine, but the other one will be greater than 2, and it's the same shape. So imagine this grew, it would go there, and that would, it couldn't, what I'm saying is neither of those can be size 3. It's a bit like a Nurikabe point, if you've ever done Nurikabe puzzles. Why wouldn't you have done Nurikabe puzzles? You know, if this grows, it's connecting to this. So you can't create a 3 in either of these. Now that brings me on to the thing I should have done first, which is to say that it is impossible for any of these digits to be bigger than 4, isn't it? They've all got to be 4 or less, because otherwise they're pointing at a shaded thing of size 5, and once there was a second shaded thing of size 5 or more, it's going to break the world. So we can do, well, we can put 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s into everything. And now I'm stuck again. Okay. So presumably what I'm meant to do is to work out... no, okay, I was going to try something else, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to note that that cell is not a one size thingy, so that's got to grow. Now this is also not a one size thingy, so both of these are at least of size 2. But that could, if that's a 4 and that's purple, that would work. And if it's a 3, that would have to be green. I don't know. I'm not quite. I'm not confident with this rule set yet. Oh, I tell you what I might do. Hang on. I'm just gonna change tack for a moment. When I was doing the example, I was thinking about a group that, oh, Maverick's about to fly over, that had 4. See, I'm wondering whether we can get rid of 4 from everything here, because 4 felt difficult to me. I'm just going to draw in. I don't know if I can do it. Actually, I could do it. Look, I'll do that, that, that. Right, I'm going to say this is a region down here. I just want to think about it just for a second. Is that, and what I want to think about it in the context of, is how do you construct a region like this within the context of the rules that requires one of these L tetrominos to be whispered. So not having 5 in it, that means. So let's just talk a bit about that, because let's say that this obeyed the rule that said adjacent digits differ by 5. Oh, that's my phone, that's fine. Can we put 5 into it? No, because the next digit has to be at least 5 different from 5. If we go down, we're going to get to 0 or lower. If we go up, we're going to get to 10 or higher. They don't work for Sudoku. So 5's going to have to be over there. That's the first thing. Now, the next thing we can note about the way a whisper will work is it will oscillate polarity. So, what do I mean by that? Well, it means that, let's say this digit was lower than 5. This digit now can't be from 1, 2, 3, 4, because if it was, these two digits can't be 5 apart. So this is going to be higher. This is going to be lower. This is going to be higher. So what we can say about that, you see, I feel like this is going to put pressure, possibly terminal pressure, on the Renban. If this was... Yeah, I mean, for example... Oh no, actually I'm wrong. I was going to say we couldn't have a 4 in here. It might be alright actually. So my instinct was that this was going to get very, very difficult. Because what we can see here is that 2 low digits have gone and 2 high digits have gone as a result of this pattern. Now in here, we've got to have a continuous sequence of digits that are going to have to sit between, definitely between, yeah, the values on this one, because we can't, let's say we used 6 and 7 as the high digits here. Obviously this 4-cell sequence couldn't be higher than 7, could it? 8, 9, 10, 11 is how it would have to run. That's not going to work. So whatever's on here, if we make it extreme, because that's going to give us the most room for this, 8, 9, 1, 2, we'd then be picking 4 cells here from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. Which is fine. But you could also actually... Yeah, you can't. I was wondering if I could limit this cell. I'm not even sure I can do that. I don't think that has to be 3 or 7. Because, for example, say this was 2, 3, 8, 9. I think that works from a whisper perspective. Then this could be a 1. 2, 3, 8, 9. This is 4, 5, 6, 7. Bobbins. Okay, this is I'm going down totally the wrong track. I'm sorry. When I did the example earlier, I thought there might be a restriction, and that might allow me to get rid of 4 from all of these cells. But oh, hang on. There is a sorry. Oh no, there is a 4. That's what this is saying, because we can't have more than 4. Oh, good. Right. Okay. Okay, that is a part. That's when one part of my brain doesn't talk to the other part. What a silly brain. So one of these is 4, and is going to have to obey that rule that we were just looking at. But we couldn't really detect anything from that rule, could we? Wait a minute. Well, wait a moment, actually. Hang on. Can I go back? This is okay. Here is something. I can do something. One of these is 4. I don't know which one, but whichever one is 4, the 4 is not in the region with itself. Does that make any sense? Oh no, it is in its own region. It's not in the region of the shaded thing it's pointing at, is what I'm going to tell you. Because let me show. Actually, this is useful. Imagine that this cell had an arrow pointing at this, and if this was a 4, that's broken, I'm going to claim. Because, remember, one side of this is a whisper, which is going to consume 2 low digits. And the other side is a renban. So there's no way to construct the renban sequence. If we start the renban, let's say this was the renban sequence. Obviously it can't be 1, 2, 3, 0. That won't work. So it's going to take the high digits, and it's either going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, or it's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9. Now either of those sequences uses 3 high digits, but there must be 2 high digits here because it's going to oscillate polarity. So the 4, right? So one of these is a 4 pointing. So if it was this one, it would be that. And that's going to, but this one won't be in the region with it. That's a 4, that's a 4. I'm not sure. This is actually, this is really weird, this puzzle. Okay, alright, let's change tack slightly again then. That cell, I think, is in a 9-cell region that is constructed of 7 green cells and 2 solitary purple cells. So where is this getting its solitary purple friend from? Because it's not able to have it from either of those, is it? Okay, so here is a subtle but I think interesting point. That cell is green. Because for this one to find a friend, it's got to get through. It's not sharing a region with these dominoes, is it? So it's got to get to some other region in the world. Now, does it have to take that? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think it does have to, because we've already worked out 4. Definitely, yeah, an arrow with a 4 definitely isn't part of the region. So I don't think it's necessarily true that this one takes that. But it is true that that one takes that. That is part of a region. And then there. Right. Okay. Now, okay, so this is what got me thinking about this. This is not 4. Because if it was 4, what would happen? Well, that would do this, and both of those would be 4. Now, how does this pick up? Oh no, maybe it can. I might be wrong, actually. No, I'm not. No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. It can't. It can't get to a solitary thingy without hitting 2 4s. Because remember, this one's region is looking for 7 green cells. Well, it could take that one, that one, that one, that one, but it's definitely got to take that one in this paradigm. Now, the only way it doesn't pick up a second 4 in its own region, which is obviously not allowed, is if this cell is the escape valve and is the friend of this, the solitary friend of this. That's impossible, because this is a 4, so that's going to grow and be of size 4. It's not going to be the size 1 that this one naturally couples up with. So this does not work. This does not work. And this is 2. and this is 4, and that is green. And that is 4. So those two are both green. That's classic Neurocarby. I don't know which of those is thingy, but one of them is. Okay. What does that mean? That's a 4. Because that one is now part of this one. So that's a 4. So this isn't a 4. This is a weird rule. Now this is not 4. And okay, let's try and think about how this region works. How are we going to do this? Let's use lines. So that one is definitely going there. I don't know whether it goes to there, but then it goes to there. Now it's got to get hold of a 1. I don't know now. If this... I sort of want this to be a 1, but I'm not sure it has to be. If that... I think it can't be a 2. Because if it's a 2, isn't it going to repeat in its own region? Because if it's a 2, neither of those is the purple 1 cell that we're looking to join this one with. So we'd have to go through this green cell to get this to connect, and it would go through the same digit. So this is 1 or 3. Now, if it's 3, that would come out. Those two would both be green. We'd have to come through this gap still. That's going to be true. I'm not sure. This might be obvious now for everyone else, but it's not obvious to me. I mean, we could do sort of look ahead. That's my phone again. I'm trying to visualize it. So if that was purple and that was at least a 3, it couldn't join. Well, it would be 3, so it couldn't join those. Both of those turn green. So this and this would join together. Both of those would be green. 1, 2, 3, 4. This has to somehow get to a solitary thingy, which might have to be that thingy. 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, actually, I don't think it's possible. I'm not certain about this, but sort of playing it through in my head and trying to visualize how it works, I don't think that can find a 1 cell region if this is a 3. Now let's see if my mental visualization was good enough. So what I was noticing is that if this is 3, this has to grow, because this has got to be size 3. I don't know how it grows, but it's got to be size 3. This has got to be size 3, so it doesn't join those. So we're in this world, and this is joining up here. So, I mean, Neurocarby tells us this. But you can see here, this is size 3, don't forget, so it's not capable of being the 1 that this joins to. So the only way this is going to get a 1 is if it can get to that cell. That's the nearest thing it's got. These are both 3. These join together. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're short, aren't we? We can't get there with orthogonal connectivity. We get there diagonally, but that's not good enough. So it doesn't work, and this is 1. And I think that's going to take all the pressure out of the world, but maybe in a good way. This is now a 1, so that's green. This is now a 1, so that's got to be totally ringed by greenification. It's a very eco-friendly 1 here. Oh, I see. And now this one can join either of these. And that's very... Yeah. It doesn't even now have to go through this cell. It could just come straight down here. Wow. Okay. Alright, that's not 1 anymore. That's at least 2. Does that help us? Absolutely doesn't. Okay. This isn't very easy, is it? I don't think this is very easy. Okay, that has become a 2. That is true, isn't it? So that's not 2 now. So that's at least 3. Well, that's at least 3. That's a 2. So that 2 has to join another 2. Oh, could it be that 2? No, that can't be, because it would cut off this 1. It's not... no, actually I'm wrong. I think it could just come straight down there. If this 1 sort of gets this 1... Yeah, oh no, hang on, that 2. This 2 has to get out as well, doesn't it? Actually, how does that happen? Oh, sorry, right, this is important, surely. Yeah, this 2 shape has to get and touch another 2, but remember this is size 4. This is size 1, so how does this get out? It's got to come through that cell. So we'll do that, and now this one at the top is getting really trapped in. It's got to come here. And then it's got to go there, and that's its other 1, look. Oh, and that... Okay, well, that, I mean, it's good in a way, but it's not going to help me. Wow, okay. So this one here has to get a new 1 from somewhere, but not the blue region that we're trying to build. I suspect this is a 4, looking like that. That would make this a 4. So if that's a 4, that's quite interesting. If that is a 4, how do you build this shape? And the one thing I'm seeing is that the only way of making this a 4 is if that is a 4, if that is purple. Because if you try and make a 4 without using this cell, you can't get it to work. It would be a size 5 by the time it hits this one. So if that's a 4, it's definitely a sort of T tetromino. And you green all those, you green all these. Oh, that's... And then where'd you get another T tetromino from in the world? That doesn't look very easy to do. It's quite good practice, this puzzle, for sort of visualizing things in your mind's eye. Because what you've got, if this is a T tetromino, we're allowed to go 1 space through a green in some direction, and then we've got to hit a T tetromino. I don't... Oh, no, I thought I'd seen it, but no, I've just... We've also got to be careful, actually, if we do this, not to cut off. Ah. Right. Okay, here, this is beautiful, actually. This is a beautiful idea. I don't think that is a 4. For this reason. You can't, for starters... If this is a T tetromino, what you couldn't do, for example, is go through this cell, and I don't even know if it's possible to draw it, but You couldn't do that because you're going to cut off some green here that can't be part of a 9-cell region. But one shape I did see that we could do is that shape. And then you wouldn't even know. Well, actually you would know. I think it would have to be that cell that was the joiner, because these would both be 4s. And remember, we worked out some time ago that 4 wasn't in the region with a 4 shaped, with its own shading. So what about this shape and this being the join? Why doesn't that work? And there's a beautiful reason it doesn't work. So that's a 9-cell region. It's got 2 T-tetrominos in it, joined by row 3, column 3. Where are we putting the 4 in it? It can't have a 4. It can't have a 4 because it's in 2 columns and there's 4s in both of those. So it's wrong. So let me actually paint it in. That is the shape I'm proposing. Now the problem here is I might have missed an option. So let's see if that's true. So if this is a 4 and this is a 4, and I paint this in, those turn green, these all turn green. Is there another place to put a T-tetromino that isn't that? That would touch that, and anyway would cut this off. Oh, no, I thought I'd seen one there, but that's not right. That's going to touch that. It's quite easy, actually, to make a mistake here, isn't it? That's going to touch that. I'm 95% sure there isn't another one. Let me just give it a moment, because this would be a bad thing to get wrong. If this turned out, it would be worse for me. Some of you don't realise this. It would be worse for me if I miss an option and then the puzzle still solves, because all the comments will just say you missed this option. And I'd rather miss the option, assume something that's wrong, the puzzle then breaks, and then I have to come back and revisit this, because at least then everyone just says, oh, you had a moment there, Simon, rather than the whole video sort of being invalidated, or the logic in the video being invalidated because I've been a muppet. I don't think there is. I really don't think there is. So that being the case, I think it's legitimate to write 3 there. Now, what does that... Well, that means this is definitely not shaded. So this one has to do that. This one is sealed in. That has to be a 3. Does it have to join with that, or could it sort of make its own way? I don't know. How long have I had? I've had 43 minutes so far. That has flown past. So this is some region. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it has to be the same shape as that, doesn't it? Oh no, only if it's in the same region as that, which it might not even have to be. Yeah, that's interesting. Oh goodness. Oh, hang on. Look at this one. That's not a... that isn't a 1. Right, that's at least a 2, so that has to grow. And now that is the shape of that 3, because it can't grow anymore. It's got an arrow pointing at it. So these... Right, these arrows point at the same thing. Neither of those is a 3. This is a domino, and it's got to get round the edge of this blue thing. Just touch something of size 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, see, that could just be it, couldn't it? Oh, well, no, that would have to go there to be a size 2. Because it couldn't go down, it would then be a size 3. Or, is it possible it goes down to that one, maybe? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's got to be relevant. Right. Where does this get its domino from? Its second purple domino. That's not it. If this isn't it, within 9 cells... Oh, it could be here. Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, Bobbin's face. I thought I was going to be able to link it to there. But it could just be there, couldn't it? Or there. Oh. That's so annoying. There must be something obvious here. So this blue is coming out here. But it hasn't finished yet, has it? There's no way it can collect 9 cells already by the time it's done that. But I think it could come down here, you see. And this red... Oh, this red needs a 2, but it could get 2 from there or there. Or possibly somewhere else hidden in here. And what have we got here? We've got 4, which we don't even know the shape of. Right. Oh my goodness me. Right, this is where I'm meant to look next, I think. Because there's a feature here. I sort of... Oh, I'd appreciated it, but not properly. Right, this is a wall now. Yeah. We need to use the line tool. Right. Remember, this is of size 4 by the time it grows. Well, it's not part of that region, is it? We can't put the 4 in the same region as the 4 shaded cell it's pointing at. The same is true here. So these 2 cells act as a sort of wall preventing this 4 from getting out through these cells. So here's an interesting question. How does this, which is either that shape or that shape, find its friend? Its 4-cell friend that's the same shape as it. Now, the interesting thing to note here is that where it doesn't find it is from row 9. Because you might say, well, it could just do that or something. If that's the right size. Yeah, that's the right size. Why doesn't that work? Well, the reason that doesn't work is that what about this cell here? That is indisputably not part of this shaded shape. And that must be part, therefore, of a different 9-cell region to this cell's 9-cell region. This shape goes 1 green cell, which isn't this one because that's not size 4. So it's either that going there or that going there. It must always go to this cell and never to row 9, because if it goes to row 9, that cell is shut in and can't be a part of a 9-cell region. And obviously this isn't the green cell in this region, because then it needs to be the conduit that allows this 4-cell shape to connect to its friendly 4-cell shape in the same region. And that is no conduit. That is no conduit of mine. So actually maybe it's better to start with this cell. It's got to get out. And then there's another region that's going like this. It's picking up one of those 2 as well. And then, right, and then, where's the start of the purple shape that continues this region? It's got to be here. Can't be part of the 4. So that is purple. And is either an S, maybe joining to that, or an L maybe joining to that, Or, oh, L's got all sorts of chances. Okay, but this has got to continue. And it can't bump into this region above it, so it's got to continue. Yeah, look, here we go. That is a forced real junction between regions. Now what, oh, well we know that that is not a shaded cell, because it would connect to another shaded region. It's not allowed to do that. That might be able to be shaded. That might be able to be shaded. If that was shaded, that would force the shape of the shape above it, because that would have to be green, and in fact part of that region as well. So, oh, here's an interesting thought. Here is an interesting thought. How could... Okay, this does not join to that. Because whatever the shape was, this would be a 4, and then that would be a 4, and there's no space for it, because it would bump into this, which is already tied to those. So this does not jump into this. So this cell is green. Because if this goes down 1, we're neurocarbied, aren't we? This has got to grow, so it's going there or there, and it would hit this one, which it now can't. So that is green, and now that's going to force this to come along here. It could take that cell, but it could only take that cell, so it's got to go again. Now it definitely doesn't bump into this. So those two are both green. And it's got a straight edge. It's got a spine now, hasn't it? It's sort of lying recumbent on row 8's base. So this can't be an S, because it wouldn't be the same shape as this. It's got to go there. This is very, very clever stuff. Not of me, I hasten to add, but I suppose when you combine sort of two genius setters together, you're getting a lot of IQ points thrown into the cauldron. So, oh, I see. So now everything's changed a bit in terms of how this looks. So this region that starts here, we almost know its shape now. It's those cells, it's not that cell, and one of these two cells. We probably know which one if we think about it, but let me just keep track. Now also, so this red region at the bottom is bumping into this cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got 2 more to take, and it needs a purple, a solitary purple. So okay, so that is purple, because if this wasn't purple, I can have 1 green, which would be one of these, and then a purple solitaire. It's not that, that's a domino. It's not that, that's a domino. So that's purple. And now I need 2 greens, which could be any congregation of anything. Okay, all right, okay, but that's a 1. So this is not a 1, and these both grow. I mean, come on. If this is a 2, it's a domino there and a domino here. If it's a 4, obviously it grows. I bet it can't be a 4. Actually, maybe it could be something like that, maybe. Oh, okay, no, I don't know then. What could we do here? Let's try... Right, what are we going to try? We're going to say that... Is this obvious? I have not got a Scooby-Doo. It's a funny puzzle, because even though there have been moments when I feel I've understood it, I'm now feeling a bit baffled again. Like, I'm looking at it now and I can't see the weak point in it. I don't know where I'm meant to focus my attention. I feel, okay, and I also feel like I've got lots of strands that I haven't managed to, like this strand here, that's got to get to a 2, which I'm guessing is there or there. Ah, this one, right. Where does that one get anything from? That's got to connect to a solitaire somewhere. Now maybe that has to be a 1. But if that's a 1, how does this get a 2? Those are not part of the same region, because they are the same digit. Okay. Right, here's a thought. This one's region, this 4 here, there's either a purple there or there's a purple there. And that's sort of a wall, isn't it, for this? All I'm going to say is that this region, whatever it looks like, the region this is a part of is going into this row somewhere, because it can't escape through there, because there's definitely a purple there or a purple there to complete this region. So somehow this is going up a bit, and it's the latest it goes up is there. That's if that's purple. Now what about that one then, which can't bump into this one's region? The other thing that's interesting about this one is that this one is not in the red region. Why do I say that? Well, if it was, what are we doing with this? And the answer is not much of any use to anybody. Certainly not man nor beast. Because if this one joins to there, this region can't be size 9, can it? We can't fit a 9-cell region in from here and then loop round it with a 9-cell region. That's this one. So this one is probably part of the 4, is what I think. But if this was not, I'm just very skeptical that this can't be a 1 now. I'm almost at the point where I'm going to claim, and it would be a claim, that this is a 1. Because if it isn't, these are both, well, neither of these are of any use to this. And I don't see how this connects with anything. Because again, what we know is this doesn't connect to that 4, because then this 4's region can't get out. You know, this can't be a size 9 region embedded in those two. So how does this get a 1? If this is not a 1, it can't. I just don't think it can do it. I'm convinced by that. That is a 1. That is definitely a 1. So all of those are green. This is not a 1. So this is at least a 2. Oh no, I tell you what I've got a problem with now. How does this get a 2? Ah, this is a problem. That's a big problem. It can't get there, I don't think. I think it's too far away. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it could get 1 cell of it. It couldn't get both. Good grief, I'm wrong. So we've ricketed here. I'm astonished. I am astonished. Okay, sorry. So if... I just don't understand. These are both the same. Oh, I see. Ah, hang on, I've missed a point here. I suppose I could have a tiny little thing in there, couldn't I? Or maybe there that attached to this. Ah, I didn't see that. I didn't think of it. Okay, so let's rethink this again. This one I know goes up somehow into this row. This one therefore must go up into this row somewhere. So this one, which we know is not part of that one, is going to be forced to stay high and bump into that, which must be the 2. Is there anywhere else this 2 gets a 2 from other than there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There is no other way, is there? It can't get that. It just can't, because there's not enough space for these 2 regions to live. Yes, sorry. So that's the simple way to see it is, where does that get 2 from? It must be there, and that would have actually helped me to see things. So now that's green, and that fences in this 2, and oh, this is great. But now we've got to... Oh, no. Oh, I see. And then that can go through there. Right. That's what I'd missed. Because I still think I've got a problem a bit with this. Oh, but now it's good. Now it's all coming together. It's really intricate. But I think, look, I've got a region. I've got a region done down here. That's tremendously exciting. Now. So I'm almost certain that this is a 1 and is going to be availing itself, or is a friend of this one. Because this 4 can't bump into this, so it's going to come across... Yeah, this 4 can't bump into that. So this 4 is this is part of the same region. That's quite interesting. Because once that's part of a region, that is also part of the region, isn't it? So there's sort of 5 cells of this region here. Now, how does this get out now? This... Oh, I shouldn't use red again. Let's use grey. So now it's got to take that cell, doesn't it? That's forced. And then it's going to come across here. Now, red we know is not part of this region, so red has to come along here. Grey has to continue. It's nowhere near 9 cells yet. And this has to get out. So we know this is all part of the same conundrum. And this has still got to get out. Now it's getting a bit trickier. Well, although blue has to keep going, because blue, even if it picked up these 2 cells, is still not 9. It's only 6 at the moment, so it's still got to keep going. Now, the only way that this grey gets out is to go through there, which tells us that this is a 1 after all that, which tells us these 2 are both now green. Okay, there might be more to learn from that, but that at least is all true, I think. Okay. I don't know what to do with it yet. Oh, I tell you something, though. This one hasn't got a 2 to... Oh. 5, 6... Oh, thank goodness for that. Right. So this is a 2, and it's necessary to join up with this, so that's a 2. So this is definitely green, and that's a 2 thingy in the corner. And I don't know which way this goes, because I think it could go either way. Although, actually, we might be able to do it by thinking about not trapping in stuff down here. It definitely goes to one of those squares anyway. This one. And it's going to be a friend of this one. So let's draw it in as so far as, I mean, that's true. And in fact, that's the full extent of this region. It cannot do anything more than that. So we should fence it in. And now you can see that this 4 here has to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is full. This is finished. This is beautiful, isn't it? That is finished. It cannot take any more cells because it is size 9. The thing there is those 2 can only belong to this region. That's all it's got. So we can remove this. We've now got another region finished. This is now part of the red region. That's part of the red region. It's got to take both the cells in it. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more cell to come for this one. Which could be that one. Could be that one. Could be that one. Could be that one. So I don't think we know which way it goes. Well, here's an interesting point. This little shape here, that 2 has not found any friends yet, and it's walled in. It can't get through a 3, and it is not allowed that 2, which is part of this one's region. So there's definitely a purple thing here, and one of those 2 is going to be the final shape that this joins to. So there's another region up here that's sort of doing this, because that must be part of this one's region, otherwise there'll be a 9-cell region poking out, which is clearly not going to work. Probably these 3s have to be connected now, but I won't assume that. Well, I tell you what we probably want to do. Well, do we know? No, we don't, do we? Oh, hang on. I can't connect. Here's a point. I can't connect shaded areas. So that's green, that's purple, and that finishes off this region. We now know exactly what shape it is. It's got to be that shape. And I think it should have 9 cells by my earlier calculation. It has got 9 cells. And now something's going on in the bottom left. We've got a... Oh dear. Oh, I see. No, it's fine. It's fine. So that's green now, by dint of the fact that this is a domino. But what 2-cell shape does that one get? It must get it from there. So there's another shape in column 1, which we can approximately draw in. Oh, there's a great big explosion outside. 6... So this one is of size 7, so it's going to pick up 2 of those 4. And then the other 2 are going to join this to make a size 8 shape. And then the 9th cell of this is going to be that one, or that one. Ah, it's not that one, because that would isolate this cell. So we can draw one line in. That's definitely not the final shape. It's either this one or this one. And that's probably important. So hang on. What is this part of then? Because wasn't this one only taking one more? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this one is not part of red. It's definitely not part of blue. Can it be part of green? Oh, this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, you can't get here because you're going to go through... Ah, so this one is part of this one. Right. Yeah, there's definitely... Okay, there's no space left for more 3s in this grid. So this is all... Those cells are definitely in one region, plus we've just worked out that one. And that is 8 cells of stuff. Yeah, lovely. Absolutely beautiful. Right, here we go. I'm going to show you something. So what I'm saying is that these cells, plus that one, are definitely in this top region. Now, one of these is green, but the other one can't be part of another region other than blue. So these 2 cells are shared by blue and green to complete them, which allows me to ring fence those cells. Now, so now this one has to be part of red, and that finishes red. Red's now got 9, so we can delete the line going through red. It's really quite intricate, this, isn't it? Now, that can't possibly be part of blue, can it? No, it can't. So this is part of green. So green runs along the top there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at least one of those, so 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, it can get right to the end there. Oh dear, right. Okay. So hang on, let's think about this. Well, hang on. Yeah, here's a point now. Right, I know this little green thingy here is taking one of those for its 7th cell. So it never gets there. So that must be red. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right, that finishes red. So red is finished. These 2 are both in green. Right. And that's going to allow us to do some Sudoku. It's about the first 1 hour, 12 minutes. I'm going to do Sudoku. Those 2 digits have to appear in column 1 somewhere. And we know they're not in those cells. So where do they go? Well, they're not there. Because that C's 1 and 2. So they're there. And that's got to be 1. That's got to be 2. And remember that this 1 is already in the green region, so that cell is now not. So the completion of green is there, and that is another lovely idea from these wonderful constructors. So now blue is done, that region's done, this region is done, there's going to be all sorts of irregular nonsenses here, isn't there? Yeah, I've got something in box 1. It's not really irregular nonsenses, but it's something. Where's 3 in this funny old region? Because it's not in those cells, it's in one of those 2. Oh, this cell is now blue, definitely. So we must add it to blue. So blue now has 1, 2, 3. Blue's got 6. Possibly this 1 is in it as well. I still don't know. I still don't know how the final shading works. Right. Okay. I don't know if this matters, but I'm going to tell you something. This cell, or this domino, is in the green region. Now, within the green region, there is a German whispers purple shaded section. That is not this, because this cannot have a low digit in this domino. It can't have 2, 3, and it can't have 1, 4. So that is Rembanic, and is, I mean, this is a dreadful pencil mark, but forgive me. I just want to make it just so I remember. Now that means that this is either there. Oh, yeah, if it's there, it has to be 4, 9. Because the only low digit it could have on it is 4. I'm not sure. I don't know how to do that. I do feel like maybe if we double click ones or something, there's something going on. Where's 1 in... Oh, nearly actually. Where's 1 in this region? It's there, isn't it? In one of those 2 cells. Okay, that is a 3 by the law of leftovers. So the law of leftovers, which is something we were talking to Matt Parker about, is this idea which happens in a regular Sudoku of cells sort of sticking out and in of rows and columns. So what I want to just take a quick look at is those cells. Let me highlight those for a moment. Now we can describe exactly what those digits are. That's 5 complete rows of the Sudoku, isn't it? So those blue cells are 5 complete rows of the Sudoku. Now I'm going to highlight something else. I'm going to highlight these regions. Now I've just highlighted there 5 regions in this puzzle. So those regions are also going to contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. So those are the same, those things are exactly the same digits as we just highlighted when we did the 5 rows. And if you look at carefully, you can therefore see that common to both of those highlightings were all of those cells. In other words, we know that this group of cells here plus this is equal to 5 sets of the digits 1 to 9, and we know that that group of cells plus that is also equal to 5 sets of the digits 1 to 9. So those cells are the same. Well, they aren't 3. If that was a 3, that would be a 3 here, and that 3 would clash. So the 3 must go there. Now, is that helpful? The answer is, who knows? Right, here's a different point. That 2 is in a sequence. Well, it's not in a Renban sequence, because if it's Renban, it should have 1 or 3 in the sequence, and it can have neither. So this is whispered. And that tells us the shape of this. Because now, whispers, what we do is we alternate. There must be a low digit in here, and it must be on the opposite. It must be sort of on the same bishop's colour as this one. So that's got to be 4 and 9. And now this, if this ran horizontally, there would be no low digit. So it must go that way. That's green. And now, okay, so now we also know that is how this green region was slowly building extends. But we know that that cannot be a low digit. So that's a high digit. It's whispered. So it's not 5. So it's 6, 7, or 8. It can't be 9. I don't know whether it can be 8 because I don't know whether this is in this region. So 6, 7, or 8 leading to 1, 2, or 3 here, not 2, and not 3. So it's 1. Okay, sorry. Oh, so now this one is not in the green region, so that's blue. Good grief. Okay. So now we've got 7 cells of blue, which means this cell can't be blue. It would be a 10-cell region. So that's green. And now I've got 5. I've got... Oh, hang on. I've got 8 cells, I think, of green. So I can't take that one, because that would prevent blue ever getting to this one. and green would be full, so that doesn't work. So blue takes that one, and then we're going to be allocating this one and this one between the in order to do the final shading. Good grief. Right, okay, now these squares are 5, 6, 7 and 8, and we know that that is a Rembanic sequence. So not only is this not 8, this must have 6 and 7 from the sequence in it. So that is not 6 or 7, that is 5 or 8. And now 9 in this region is placed. It's got to go there. So 9 in this region is in one of two places. Yeah, I suspect there's a lot of stuff we're meant to be thinking about here. We know those two digits are the same, don't we? It's almost interesting. Okay. I'm not sure where to look now. Where is... Oh, I don't know. Sorry. Okay, where is 1 in this region? Because it's not there, it's not here, it's not there, and it's not there. It's there. That's where it is. How many 1s have we got? 7. So there's a 1 in one of those two cells. Ah, now, I wonder. That's huge. Yeah, that is huge, because this, maybe I should have started here, because we were aware, weren't we, that 4-cell regions were particularly constrained. Now, what would happen if this was Renban? It would be 1, 2, 3, 4 now, and this would have to be whispers with no low digits, which is impossible. So this is whispers, and this is Renban. Okay. Where's 2 in this region? And the answer is, I do know now. I do know. This is whispers, and the 2 in the region is in one of those squares. But remember, the 2 and the 1 have to be separated, because 2 and 1 are not 5 apart. So I can't put the 2 here. I've got to put the 2 here. 2 and 1 are not 5 apart, so that's forced. These are high. That's not 6. That could be 6. And that's how this looks. And now, these squares are from 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if these were 8, 9, which is the most they could be, these could be 3, 4, 5. These could get as high as 7. They are from 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. They can't. So they definitely have 4, 5 and 6 in them. And look at that. I get no pencil marks from that, the rotten thing. And this digit has an awful lot of options, weirdly. That's so weird. I mean, it could be 3. It could be 7, 8, 9. Good grief! Right, that's very peculiar. Okay, should we try? Well, we can do all our 1s now. All your 1s belong to us. All the 1s are done in the puzzle. Let's try 2s. How do we do all the 2s? We can. Oh, we nearly can actually. Well, we can nearly get 2 in that one. 2 in this one is not there, there, or here. 2 is in one of 2 places. Now, if it was there, we don't know, do we? Because what's this one? If that was, I see. If that was a Renban, it would have to be 3, 4. But then that could be 2 high digit on the whisper. And if this was whisper, it would be 3, and then that would be 8 or 9. And then the 2, this would be Renban, so the 2 would have to shuffle over here. lines? I don't know then. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure what to do with that. Right, I'm trying to see something. Where do we look? The single-celled ones are more horrible, aren't they? They're less likely to be useful. And I still haven't managed to figure out how the final shading works, which is a bit discombobulating. Oh, I see. Right, look in here. 2. Oh, in fact, can I get 2 in here? I might be able to actually get the 2. Yeah, I can get the 2. Ah, okay. That means we have to revisit this, don't we? Yes. If this was Renban, this can't be 2, 3, because we've had the 2. So it would be 3, 4, and then this would be Whisper, and there would be no low digit. So this is Whisper, and that digit's high. And this is Renban, but that's very unhelpful indeed, because basically it can be anything, apart from it can't have 9 on it. But that is actually, I know what I'll do. I'll put R in. That's Renban, just to remind me, so that I don't have to revisit that logic. Okay. So, now how did we get that? I know. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking about low digits in these 2 dominoes for the inevitable Whisper. 3 is the only low digit that can go. This has no low digit, so it can't be Whispered. That's Whispered. It must be 3 with 8 or 9. So that means that this, oh, see, look, I've learned nothing from that. That's just from 5, 6, 7, and 8. Whoopsie, 5, 6, 7, and 8, I think. Oh, how distressing is that? The answer is quite distressing. Wow. Okay, sorry. Oh, here's... I see. Right. Look at column 1. Something I hadn't figured out, but this 9 is really interesting regarding this, is that neither of those dominoes can have 4 as their low digit in, because 4 partners up only with 9 on the Whisper. So, what we now know is there is a 3 with an 8 in one of those squares. Now, do we know which one? Don't know. There's definitely a 3 and an 8, though. The 3 is not there, so the 8 is not there. I'm just trying to see if I can do better than that. I don't know that I can, actually. I do though know there's a 3 in one of those, don't I? So if that was a 3, that would have to be a 3. Which might be interesting. Not sure. Okay, so there's 3 and 8 here. And then there's a Renban. But that Renban can have all sorts on it. Selected. It can't... Yeah, I mean, it can have almost anything on it. It can be from 4, 5, 6, 7. That's weird. Okay, so I don't understand that. That's not 4. So there is a 4 in one of these. So 4 is in one of those cells. So where is 4 in this column? That's a good question. It can't be here, 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 or here by the logic we did. So it's here. And so that this is the 3, 8. This is 4 and 5 in order to be consecutive, and that is 6 and 7 in order to complete the region. Now, if this is 4 and 5... Oh, bobbins. I would rather this was 5, because that would give me a 5 in one of those squares. But the fact this can be 4 could be that digit. Right, but let's use the law of leftovers. We know that digit is the same as that digit from what we did earlier. So now I've got a 4-5 pair. So now I do get a 5 down here. This is remarkable. Because obviously one of these is a 5 and it has got to slot into this region somewhere. Okay. Does that help us or hinder us? I don't know. Oh, we worked out there was a 6 in that string, didn't we? So that's not 6. Is it 3s? A 3's more restricted than I've only got 3 3s. That's appalling. Oh, it's nearly very difficult to put 3 in the blue region, actually. That's quite troubling, isn't it? It's nearly very difficult to do that, but I think it's got 2 possibilities. It could go here or here. So, yeah, I mean, if we could rule out that one, we'd know that this was a blue 3. Right, so let's try something different. Can we do... Is there any sort of weirdness regarding laws of leftovers going on? We know that those 2 digits are the same as those 2 by the law of leftovers, and that removes absolutely El Zippo from them. Can we do anything else clever like that? Those are the same. We appear to know that already. Wow, I don't know. Oh, is there something going on with that? Those 3 digits there are the same as those 3 digits. That's nearly really interesting, but not quite interesting enough. This can't be 3. Oh, here's a simple question. Where's 3 in this bottom region? And the answer is I've really genuinely not got a Scooby-Doo, but I do know it's in one of those cells. Looking at that cell, so that's 8, that's 3. Now that's... Oh no, we don't know, do we? I've got 3 pencil marked in here. Well, in fact, we do know now. That's huge. Yeah, that's really good, because I wasn't sure whether there was a 3 in that string, and now there has to be, because where's 3 in there? And the answer is that's the only cell that can contain 3. So this is 4, 5, 6 now. It must be, because it's got to be a consecutive sequence. This is 7, 8, 9. And, oh no, we don't know. That's 7, 8, 9. I don't know what it is. It's that one. It's the same as that one. Good grief. Okay. Oh, it's 8. Because that 8 has to appear in that. Ah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful puzzle, this. Right, so that's 5, 6, 7. We know they're the same as those by the law of leftovers. So that's the 8 in column 2. So that isn't 8. This is 8 in this region. This is 9. I presume there's some sort of trick we can do with that. Oh. Oh, hang on. Yeah, here's a good question. Where does the green... Where is 8 in the top row? Again, it's one of these questions I keep asking where I don't know the answer, but I know something interesting that results from the answer. This 8 is not there. So the top row, it's got to be in green, doesn't it? So this can't be green. It would be a second 8 in green. So that is blue, and that finishes the regions. That has taken ages to finish the regions, but it's now done. We can tidy up our lineage and go, hopefully. So there is now an 8 in one of those two cells. It would be useful if it was here, because that would be 7 or 9 by Renban logic, and that would make this a 5. Okay, don't know what to do with that. This Renban here can't be 4, 5, so it's now made up of 5, 6, 7 and 8, and that's not 8. Is there anything going on there? I don't think there is. Oh, we got on a little flurry a moment ago. My flurry has come to a pitiful stop. Right. We're going to have to think again, I suspect. Where do we think we're going to find some answers then? I don't know. Okay, yeah, where's 3 in this region? That is now a good question. It can only go there. I've got so many 3s in the grid now. I've got, oh, there's another explosion from outside. I've got quite a lot of 3s. 3 in this region is nearly good. I think it's got 2 positions though. And then 3 in, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got these two, and the one in the bottom row, which is not there, there, or there. So it's in one of those squares. But the single shaded cells don't do anything anymore, do they? They obviously have no Renbanic or German whispery property. So we're going to have to think more. Oh, where's 8? Where's 8 in this region? And the answer is not there and not there. So it is in this whisper. So 9 doesn't go in there anymore. You sort of think that must do something, and it does absolutely El Zippo. Is that really true, that that's done nothing? So 5, 6, 7, 9 to place in this region. 5, 6, 7, 9. Now, can we get any better than that? Can we do anything else with that? That's absolutely extraordinary. I don't think I can. I'd really be very keen to, but I don't think I can. Wow. Okay. Sorry. That's woeful, pitiful even. Okay. Better think again. Where is 9 in row 3? And the answer is yet another of those questions I don't know the answer to. One of 3 places. No, what I was about to say then is gibberish. Best not. Best to stick away from gibberish when trying to do these puzzles. That would be a recommendation. So, I'm unsure then where to look really. So if that's 5, no, that's not good. If that's 9, it must go here. If that's 9, it must go there. I don't see how to use that. Could it be more leftovers ideas? Possibly. I don't really see where though. Okay, let's try and double. Oh, 4s. Do we know anything about 4s? It would be nice to know more about 4s, wouldn't it? Where's 4 in row 2? The answer is one of 2 positions. Where is 4 then in row 3? So 4 is not there, so 4 is in one of those 3, not there in fact. 4 in column 9 is almost really interesting, but not interesting enough. Those 2 digits are the same, aren't they? They could be 4s, but they could equally well be 5s. So we've got sort of 4s in these cells. So where is 4 in the bottom row? And the answer is going to be very distressing. It's either here or here. How do I know that? I know that because obviously if there's a 4 here, a 4 here, and where was the other 4? There. There are 3 4s in those 8 cells I've highlighted. And in columns 4, 5 and 6 there are only 3 4s to find. So I can't be putting any more 4s into these cells. It will unbalance the 4s in the puzzle. Okay, so that's not how to do it. What could we do instead of that? Let's try... Did I try 3s? I feel like I did 3s. I've already thought about 3s. Yeah, I think we've got a horrible pattern of 3s left that we don't know what to do with. We've just double-clicked. Have we done our 2s? Oh, I've done a lot of 2. Where's the last 2 in the grid? Column 7 doesn't have a 2. That, you know what, that might be useful. So that's got to be a 2. And that shunts my 3s over into these positions, takes 3 out of this square. So this becomes a 3. Now, in this region here, 6, 7 and 8 are what we've got left to place. And that's definitely not... Oh, 5, 6, 7 triple. That's big. That is big. So the 5 in that triple is at the top, so that's not 5. So there's a 5 down here, so this isn't 5. This isn't 5. But I saw something else there. If that's 5, 6, 7, this is 9. Oh, that's good. So that's 9. That's 5. This isn't 9. Ooh, this is 9. This is 7. That's not 7. Come on. Come on. Is the puzzle going to roll over and let us tickle its tummy, or is it going to continue to be difficult? This is a Renban, so it's got 7 on it. Because any consecutive pair of digits must have an odd digit, and the only odd digit we seem to have there is 7. So this becomes 6 or 8. This digit becomes 6 or 8 as well. It's definitely not 9, is it? 9 is shunted over. Oh, is that a 4-9 pair then? Yes, it is. That is a 4-9 pair in that region. So that might do something. This is 6 or 8, and there's an 8. There's an 8 I never see there. So that's 7. That's 8. That's 6. Right, has that done? That might have done something. In this region, I need 5 and I need 7. So the 7 goes in the corner. That becomes a 5. So that's a 4. That's a 4 by the law of leftovers. That's 5. Now, that's a 6 by Sudoku. 6, 7, 5 into those squares. So these are now a 5, 6 pair, which means that's a 7. Yeah, now I think we're actually getting somewhere slowly here. That's a 5 by Sudoku. This is a Renban. Nah. No, we still have options there. Those two squares are 4 and 9. That's helpful, because that's a 4-9 pair in this column. That's a chocolate teapot. Oh, we must be close to finishing it now. Now, how do we finish this? Should we try? What do we need? We need 5, 6, 8. This is 5, 6, or 8, I think. That's 5 or 6. 6 here means this is set. That's going to do things. That is going to do things. Yeah, now the even digit on that Renban is 6. So that's a 4, 5, 6. 7 here by Sudoku. 4, 9 here. So in this column we need 3, 5, 8. So that's 5 or 8. And that's 3 or 5, isn't it? Nearly. The 4 here is good. So 9, 4, 4, 9. 8, 3. That seems to have to be 3 using our pencil marking. That's 8. That's 5. In this column, what do we need? We need a 5. I think it's done. I think I mean, I could have made a mistake. That is possible, but it does seem to be gradually filling itself in, doesn't it? Which is a massive relief. That's a 7, I think. In the bottom row, what do we need? We need 6 and 9. So if that's a 9 and that's a... I think that's worked. I mean, the fact that I got the right Sudoku digit into the last cell is always a huge relief. That is a long old video. That is a very good puzzle though, isn't it? I mean, imagine trying to set that. Because it's got lots of stages. The first stage is really interesting, but the logic of the first stage is completely different from the back end. I hardly used... Did I use the Renban whispery stuff at the start? It's almost like a separate puzzle. Is it correct? Yes, it is correct. Absolutely brilliant. Malrog and yttrio, happy birthday, my friends. I hope you enjoyed me going through your wonderful puzzle. I thought I'm very impressed with it. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.